So here's how we're gonna build this. We're gonna start from really simplistic sectioning, ideas, concepts, and as we go through each model, what we're going to do is we're gonna build this, okay? So we're gonna build section by section by section, and what you're gonna see is it evolve to the point till we get to the 7th model, and you're gonna see how this has evolved. So this is a very simple technique. This is a color melt. When you think of the idea of color melting, it's really like a graduated color, but on one strand. We're working from dark to medium to light, right? We all agree to that? So what we did with Elizabeth is we worked off base and we took everything and lightened her out. Now, I'm gonna let you talk about bond, but what I wanna do before we do that is just explain the vision for her. Now, this is all her, her natural texture. Are you kidding? Like, when I saw her hair, I was like, oh my God, I love her. Now, here's the funny thing. I sent some color to her because we were going back and forth on email about, okay, what do you want to do? I don't know if I want to do that. And I put it out there, and I put out something a little more conservative. And next thing I know, here comes this beautiful blue. And I was like, yeah, absolutely, we're going to do that. And look at the end result. Here's the thing for me. It needs to fit the person that it's on and their personality. It cannot wear them. They need to be able to wear with it. Does that make sense? So it can't be about, I want to be creative, crazy, and just throw something on somebody because I'm the creative guy. It needs to fit the person that it's on and the personality to carry it.
But she looks like she wears it, right?
Absolutely.
She's confident in it, you like it, right?
Absolutely.
She loves it, so you can tell that it's congruent for her. It's really good.
So we're working with our light master, and I'm going to let Lenny explain a little bit about the bond because this is where we get that really technical. Here's the thing, once we did that and we lightened her out, we're still making sure we have a really beautiful undertone, right? Natural underlying pigment is huge in what we do in this industry. So what we didn't want to do is blow her out to white, put color on, and hope that it stays and cross our fingers, because I don't care what line you work with, if you're not you're really considering the natural underlying pigment, we're in trouble. So what we did is we lightened her out. We lightened her out to a level 9, and then a level 8, and then a level 9. And where you see these little bits, what we did is we worked with So Boost at the new growth. Hear what I'm saying, at the new growth. We don't color roots. They're actually inside of your head. Think about that for a minute. Terminology and technology need to be simultaneous. So what we're doing is we're coloring the new growth with So Boost, and So Boost is something that is going to give you a very big range. It works on its own. It can go in So Color, and it can also go in Color Sync. And we'll talk more about that as you'll see some of the formulas. From there, we worked with our color graphics. We worked with the blue that's brand new to us, straight out. And then what we did for these lighter pieces is mixed it half with clear. Very simple. The thing I love about a compact portfolio and a clear is it lets us have a range to be able to create something from the softest pastels to the most saturated, beautiful blues. So Lenny, the thing about this is the integrity of the hair.
Correct. So from a technical perspective, we're looking at going from a 2 to an 8, correct? Pretty substantial lifting. Is our light master going to be able to do that? What is the integrity of the hair going to be? Because at the end of the day, if we're going to show it to you, it's got to look healthy, correct? And our client's hair has to leave healthy. Does her hair look healthy? Not even a lot of product in it with all of that lightening. That's due to the light master, which will lift up to 7 levels, and the additive Bond Ultimate, which is our bonding system. What it does is help preserve those bonds while we're doing a lightening system. So even if there were areas that needed to be re-lightened, we bonded and went back over with a lower volume developer the second time, but we were able to get that clarity and lift so we could put this blue on it, and it will preserve the quality of the hair. Here's what's beautiful. You don't have to adjust your timing. So you don't have to adjust your timing and your volume of developer. It does not disrupt either one of those. Hugely important as a timing issue and as a colorist.
Yeah, and I think that's huge because, you know, you don't want to, we've got into a great rhythm with our clients. Clients have gotten into a great rhythm with us, and we don't want to disrupt that by adding something new into what we're doing. So I think that's really key is integrity, beautiful end result, and fit in the person that it's on. This is Elizabeth. Give her a big round of applause. Thank you, sweetie. So let's welcome our next model out. Let's welcome Shelby to the stage. Oh yeah, let her know if you like it. Let her know. So remember what we said in the first one, again, I'm talking about how this is gonna start to build. So with Elizabeth, it was everything dark to light, right? So with this, what we wanted to do is do an outer circle and undercut. And what I want to show you is what's happened here is we've done an underneath bob shape. Just keep turning. Turn, turn, turn. We've done it underneath bob shape, and then what I've done on top is disconnect it. Now just shake your hair. Notice how that yellow swings completely different? So what we've done is we cut everything precision on the underneath, and then what I did is dry cutting over the top. The difference between those two is the way it will move. So then that's where we took a circular section and added all the color. So again, working off base, working with Light Master, we're definitely working with Bond. And then what we did is, this is where it got interesting, because we're taking the most extreme out of our portfolio, our toners, SPV, and we're taking a 1A, okay? Now hear what I'm saying, these are complete polarities in the portfolio, but it's the ratios in which you mix it. Because what I was really looking for is a really steely indigo type tone without taking away the shine, the depth, the dimension, and not getting it too dark. So the formula, what we worked with is SPV 2 ounces, 1A, a half ounce, and a half ounce of 3VV just to really anchor that and give it that steely, beautiful tone. From there, what we did is we worked with our color graphics lacquers, because what I anticipate is change often with her. She's definitely somebody in a consultation that loves to change her hair color. So what I want to do is anchor the base, strength, and what we did is really anchor at the base, deep, medium, lighter, and lightest. Lightest where the lines are going to go in your haircut, because that's where I want to emphasize. So we worked out to the light peach, and then we worked out to the yellow. So Lenny, just talk a little bit about.
Well, so I have a couple of thoughts here.
I know you do.
So, like, this is an example of how do I take progressive and make it commercial, yes? So I'm just looking at it, and my brain goes just like this. Okay, I absolutely love this. I think this is super commercial right in here, right? So we could maybe base shade this with a color sync, more neutral warm or something where the more blue is, right? But then we could melt it out here, and what if we took the exact same formula and just doubled it with clear? So that you've got this warm, nice neutral warm or a mocha, and then all of a sudden you've got half peach, half yellow, and all of a sudden there's just a couple of panels here and it's commercial, yes? So just add clear, and all of a sudden it's gone from progressive to commercial, and you've introduced it. Can I maybe say one more thing about 1A?
Yeah, I love it.
Listen, it's really sweet to go from your really light levels, you know, your sheer pastels and your level 10s and 9s, and you know that tube of 1A that's been sitting there with dust on it? You know the one, right? It's been sitting there and thinking, should I just throw it away? No. Here's what it's great for. It's great to take light colors and smoke them, right, so that they get dusty. 1, 2, you want to get a nice black cherry? Take your RVs and then just take the 1A and just wipe it on the bottom of the bowl, and it'll just take your 4RV and just anchor it, and you get this beautiful deep cherries. So wipe the dust off, give it a shot. If it doesn't work, call Chrystofer. No, okay.
I'm sure he'll put my.
Just a couple of thoughts from Master.
I'm sure he'll have my phone number up there later. I'm gonna disconnect my phone number now.
So that would be how I would technically take it from this inspiration down. Yeah?
No, I love that idea.
Okay.
Let's give Shelby a big round of applause. Thank you, sweetheart. And let's welcome Keely to the stage as Shelby goes off. Hi, sweetheart. So, as we started with Elizabeth's 1 circle, we went into with Shelby's, we started with 2. Now what we're gonna start to do is start to work in a graduated coloring, right? So what we've done is we've taken the outer circle, and that is our deep, dark level 2. From there, what we're doing is taking an inner circle, and that is that beautiful red, and we're working with So Boost, straight out of tube, 10 volume on pre-lightened hair. From there, what we're doing is we're still base shading in that top level. So I just want to tip your head down. And here's for me, the way I see color, and this is just for me, is I really look at shine lines. Notice where the light hits her hair. That's where I want my impact color. So the other part to that is I also want to build a base in, because as this works, what the base here and the dark here is it frames where this energy of the color is. So if it was just scalp to ends, that green could be beautiful. But when you start to anchor it with some depth to it, and really what we call framing the color, and it's such a simple technique of circular, 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 smaller, it doesn't have to be complex techniques. And I promise you this, in every Naha I have ever been in, it is simplified techniques. For me, it's not about doing something complex just to say I'm creative. It's about doing something simple, but doing it well. So for me, when we got into this idea, it was really about the blending, the melting, and we're gonna talk about some of the tools that will help with that in just a minute. but it's the integration of tools and palettes together to get to different end results. Lenny, chime in.
Forget commercial. Just leave it the way it is. Actually, I'm just kidding. But if I was going to change, like if I was going to make this more commercial, is anybody familiar with our Color Sync watercolors?
Exactly.
Get your hands up. Yeah. If you haven't seen those, I'm headed over to do the color stage at Matrix at 11:30 when this is over. Somehow I'm going to get there at the same time. But anyway, so I will be there. Come and check those out. They're much more earthy in there. So there's berries and greens and violets and peaches, but they're smoky and they're earthy and they're beautiful. I've been using those to take this inspiration and move it into that. Yes? So it's a little quieter finish. It's beautiful and semi-permanent.
Yeah, and then the last little bit of detail was really just adding from the green here, and once we got done, it was really about adding just a little bit of that detail to the edges of that. It was done, I just looked at it and I thought, you know what, let's push it a little bit. Let's give it just a little bit of a signature. Why do we signaturize things? To make a point of difference, not to say we're, different. It's a point of difference so that you're doing different stuff than what's around you, not just in the salon, but in the area. Trust me that people will start to know your brand. When you start doing things consistent, people very much know your brand. And it's important because that's what drives it. Your brand is this. It's not this. And when your brand speaks for what you do, it makes it very easy to gather those types of clients that you want to be working on. This is Keely. Give her a massive round of applause. Thank you, sweetie. So let's welcome YAYA to the stage. Yeah, let her know, let her know.
YAYA.
So, as we talked about, color graduation and very circular, now what we're going to start to do is insert signature identity into this. Now, this was inspired by Lenny's Naha shoot. And I was like, Lenny, you need to really show this because it was such a simple idea, but very signaturized. So, Lenny, talk a little bit about what you've accomplished here.
Well, so first we went in with the base with our Color Sync, which is our demi-permanent Color Sync, and we went with the 3VV, which I love because it's really an anchor that really reflects well at the base with double violet. So it's almost more of a fashion shade, and so that's how I think of it as a fashion shade when I'm working with the color. And then you can see that we melted it through we pre-lightened again with our Light Master, and then Bond, just to go back to Bond. Put it in everything. Put it in your one process colors, your So Color, as well as your lighteners. Don't forget to use it as a range. So we went in with magenta and purple, and then always a little touch of yellow and my chartreuse. I love.
You love the chartreuse.
I love my chartreuse. So I love a little accents. And I think what's nice is that you see that if you look at this, there's a juxtaposition between the chartreuse we're seeing on this side and then this side, right? So it makes when you're starting to look at color, look at it global. How is it balancing on opposing sides of the head, which really starts to give you a nice balance and just a finish to it.
Yeah, and again, it's playing that warms and cools, and then as we talk, it's really taking those strong tones and then clearing them out. Same tonal values, but just softening them out, and I love the signature pieces. This is YAYA. Give her a big round of applause. So with Ashley's, now it's the same type of idea. It's a very beautiful color graduation, but what we've done is we've done a couple signature crescent shapes. So instead of doing everything light and dark, there's a lot to be said about positive and negative spacing. So we're really working, again, off base. If you look at that, we have that deep dark base. That's a 2AA out of our Color Insider line. And then we were just highlighting, really working with the Bond and our Light Master, and then the two signature pieces. But it's not about having everything. That positive and negative space really gives a fresh approach because now when we look at the sides, it doesn't go all the way to the front there. So the concentration is really focused around the top where we have that beautiful, beautiful round shape, and then it's just really giving the signature to the lengths. We're really working with all of our lacquers. We're really working in the idea of a very soft blue, so lots of clear, tiny bit of blue, and then that beautiful violet purple. This is Ashley. Give her a big round of applause. And we have one last one for you, so please welcome her to the stage. Please welcome Hannah.
Hey, Hannah.
as I said, we would build throughout the show and we would get each one working a little bit further. So the idea with Hannah's is, yes, it's all a color melt and it all starts with the same gradient. But what we did is we did a pinwheel sectioning. And it works, and what we started was we wanted an accessing point, working from the blue to the magenta to the orange, copper, and then really having that beautiful yellow around it. So again, everything at the base is we have that 3 VV, and we're working with 5 VV, so really what we're creating there is a 4. From there, all we're working with is our lacquers. Now, the reason we work a lot with lacquers is Hannah travels with us a lot. So we're always changing different tones. I want integrity to it. I don't want to have to, every show, be ripping color out and putting color back in. I want to be refreshing. So here's the crazy thing. That blue is from 2 months ago. That's how potent this blue is. It is incredible to have a semi-permanent. And now, Hannah's not the everyday washer. Let's just say it. Sometimes a month washer. No, I'm kidding.
Dry shampoo, girl.
But I want you to really think, clients, you know, when they hear 12 shampoos, they think 12 days. Clients are going in between a lot more often, especially with the vibrancy and color. So, you know, whether you want something in a simplistic idea to be able to change, or you want something that's longevity, you can go into watercolors or color sync. So I think that's the brilliant idea with this, is he has a portfolio you can play with. So Lenny, let's give Hannah a big round of applause. What do you guys think?
Thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Thanks, Hannah.